Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Queensland has recorded its highest number of daily coronavirus cases in almost a year as the southeast of the state winds up its first full day in lockdown. It comes as Tasmanian staff and students are told to stay home from school if they've recently returned from the COVID hotspot.
The cars lining up at this Indooroopilly testing site, the cluster linked to the high school continuing to spread further into the community. 9 new locally acquired cases recorded in southeast Queensland today, the highest number in the state in almost a year.
The last time we were at this level was August 22.
Millions now living under the state's toughest lockdown conditions yet. Those in 11 local government areas stretching from the Gold Coast to Noosa only allowed to leave home for essential reasons. Measures expected to remain in place until at least Tuesday afternoon. Today, authorities left pleading with the public to get tested.
Anyone with any symptoms at all, it doesn't matter where you are, because I don't know where this virus is at the moment.
In previous outbreaks that were not this serious, we were consistently testing more than twice that number.
In Tasmania, around 11,000 returned travellers are in isolation, only allowed to leave if wearing a mask for essential purposes.
The outbreak in Queensland has had a flow-on effect.
Staff and students at Tasmanian schools told not to attend if they've recently returned from the hotspot areas.
We're just going to take it day by day. It's a very serious situation.
Meanwhile, New South Wales has recorded 239 cases of community transmission, the equal worst day of the outbreak so far.
We don't want to see the virus spread further, and we certainly don't want to see households, whole households, become infected because one person has brought the virus into the home.
Urging Sydney-siders to keep complying with the rules as the police presence continues to ramp up.
We're concerned about the young people, particularly in the 18 to 39-year-old, driving a lot of this epidemic. We're seeing cases at high rates in that age group.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
A 22-year-old man has died following a single vehicle crash in Richmond last week. Police say the man was driving east along Middle Tea Tree Road on the night of July 26 when he lost control of his car and crashed into a tree outside Daisy Bank Farms. He was taken to the Royal Hobart Hospital where he died last night as a result of his injuries. 2 bushwalkers have been winched to safety and airlifted to hospital after being exposed to cold temperatures and rain overnight. The man and woman in their 50s were expected to return yesterday from a walk at Leven Canyon. Search and rescue ground parties and the Westpac rescue helicopter spent this morning searching before sighting the pair at around 1 o'clock this afternoon. They have been taken to the Launceston General Hospital for further medical assessment. Green thumbs across Tasmania have taken part in National Tree Day, the event bringing awareness to protecting the environment and connecting with nature.
Planting trees to protect the environment, Tasmanians young and old at one with nature.
I'd like to see in 20 years all these trees grown over and it would look so nice for the environment.
It's better for the animals to live in. It's more growth and we need to respect this area.
South Hobartians taking to the rivulet to plant more than 1,000 native plants for National Tree Day.
So today we're replacing what was a sort of willow-infested, weedy section of the Hobart rivulet with native vegetation. So mainly small grasses and sedges that'll help hold the bank together.
Members of the newly formed Green Point Landcare Group turned out in droves in Bridgewater for the event, all to send a strong message.
Let more living things grow. If the earth gets destroyed, we'll get destroyed.
Not only is planting trees good for the environment, experts say spending time outside is also good for your mental and physical well-being.
The green space that we're looking at today and improving on is really good for the community, having those open spaces with a little bit more tranquility.
More than 26 million native trees have been planted across the country since 1996. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania Police is seeking information about 7 missing people as part of National Missing Persons Week. There are 168 long-term missing persons in Tasmania, dating back to the 1950s. The full list of missing persons highlighted this year can be found on the Tasmania Police website. Anyone with information about a missing person should contact police or Crime Stoppers. Around the country, states and territories have marked 150 years of the Australian Artillery's continuous service to the nation. In Tasmania, a small group gathered at the Hobart Cenotaph to watch an 18-gun salute, synchronised with those being held right across Australia.
Incredibly significant for those people serving currently, but also those soldiers that have been gunners in the past and their families that have supported the Corps throughout its really long history in Australia.
Other commemorative events will be held throughout the year. Seafood fans have flocked to Bridport for the annual Tassie Scallop Fiesta. Now in its 4th year, the event promises the world's best of the succulent shellfish, curried, fried or smoked.
For some, eating scallops is a way of life. Sometimes they're so good you can barely wait.
When I was a kid, Mum said, go down to the wharf and get me a belly of scallops. By the time I got home, there's about 2 scallops in the bottom of the belly. I used to eat them raw.
Seafood savants turned up in droves to Bridport's Tassie Scallop Fiesta, singing the praises of the day's offering.
Stay on my ground.
As you come in through the entry, you get a free scallop on the way in. And it's beautifully cooked, absolutely perfect.
From curried scallops to cooking sessions. There was something for everyone.
I think it's appreciated by the people that we've got something to celebrate, as I say, in winter when there's not a lot of other things happening, particularly in our little seaside village.
Attendees have been telling me that Tassie scallops are the best in the world, so I thought what better place to try my very first one. Pretty good.
Curried scallops on toast. Grandmother used to do it and that's my favourite. Tassie scallops, fresh scallops are always the best.
The long lines for every stall, proof that everyone here agrees. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening, 11 degrees today in Hobart, a top of 13 for Launceston, Burnie and Devonport. Cooler conditions around Tasmania today. St Helens had the state's top of 14 after a warmer day yesterday. 13 for the Bass Strait Islands, Wynyard and Smithton, 12 for Cressy, Fingal, Campania and Bushy Park, 11 at Grove and Strawn, with a top of 10 degrees for Scottsdale and Sheffield. Cumulus cloud visible over Tasmania today on the charts, more prominent in the west. A frontal cloud band extends from New South Wales over the Tasman. Another frontal band lies over southern WA, swelling into a low. Tomorrow the high extends over eastern Australia with a trough through the middle. A weakening cold front lies over the Bight. North to northwesterly winds 10 to 20 knots, increasing about the west to 30 knots. Seas to 2 metres mostly, increasing a bit later. There's a strong wind warning current for the western coastal waters. A moderate flood warning for the Meander River and a minor flood warning for the Macquarie, the Derwent, the North Esk and also the South Esk rivers. Cloudy through the south tomorrow, 13 degrees in Hobart, Dover and Ouse. Light showers through the north, 12 in Launceston, 13 in Devonport, Scottsdale 11 degrees. 12 degrees in Burnie, 14 for Strawn and Stanley, light showers throughout, with early frost and 13 degrees in St Helens, 14 for Swansea and 11 at Ross. Showers about the north on Tuesday, spreading across the state later on. Showers contracting to the west and the south throughout the day on Wednesday, with similar conditions again on Thursday. Looking at your major centres now for tomorrow, 17 degrees in Perth, 16 in showers in Melbourne and Adelaide, 15 with frost for Canberra, 19 in Sydney, 25 and cloudy in Brisbane. Mostly clear at the moment in Hobart, clear for Launceston and Devonport, 7 degrees right across the board. And Lou, the countdown is on, only 1 month of winter to go. It's certainly going to be a cool week ahead.
I cannot wait for spring. It's such a beautiful season. Thank you so much, Sam. That's all your news for now for this Sunday evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a lovely evening. Good night.